Good morning and welcome to today's live show. We do have weekly expected moves if you've already missed those, right? 617.31 to the upside for the SPY, 602.09 to the downside for the SPY. Very small range. I'm very zoomed in to this 30-minute chart right now. We do have the daily expected move, which actually was tagged in the pre-market here, 612.12 to the upside, 607.28 to the downside. One thing that I think is interesting for the week is what people are positioned like. I mean, people got pretty, this right here is the Friday close for the expirations for Friday for this week. We do see a lot of bear side activity over here with a 3.36 put to call ratio. So very interesting there. We'll have to see if that's going to be negative sentiment or some kind of contrarian indication that we could get a squeeze. So we are in a scenario where I think we should just be really trusting in these signals and saying, okay, what is the trap that we're really looking for if there is going to be a trap this week? I think that would actually be displayed by your 4-hour chart here in a little bit. I think if you're able to hold divergence here and the 4-hour turns down, then I would say, hey, this has a high potential to be a trap right now. So that's what I'd be watching. Other than that, though, everything is bullish. So the only thing we're watching for is that one little trap. And then we go, okay, if this 30-minute even wants to give this up and go back down into here, we have to realize as long as, I would even say for the whole week, as long as we're still above 600, this thing can keep turning to the upside no matter where it pulls back to. So we'll see if that's able to take place. If we would get down a little bit lower and see that lower high, that is something bad. But really want to just pay attention to everything is pointing in the upward direction and just pay attention in case there is some kind of trap, but it looks pretty bullish to me. Qs, if you needed some levels for the Qs, this thing going in the upward direction. Remember we were talking about, hey, this thing kind of needs to gap up, but we are approaching the monthly expected move. We have updated weekly expected moves. 547.96 to the upside. You got 528.34 to the downside. Daily expected moves for today, 541.38 to the upside, 534.92 to the downside. So now we have some key levels to be watching there, right? And we'll look over at something like data and see what's going on. Just so you're aware, Japan had their GDP quarter over quarter, and it came out, it was revised from up 0.1 in the previous to up 0.4. Expected the next one to come in at 0.5, and the next one came in at 0.7. So a lot going on over there, and so we are going to be paying attention to if the JPY starts to climb in some way. For the time being as well, something we're watching is volatility was still able to turn up. So with the reversal signals, volatility was able to see that turn up, was able to cross up this 2-hour, confirming the divergence that is just barely holding at this point. So it looks good on the MACD, a little bit flat on the RSI right now, maybe a little bit up, but we can see that this might turn up a daily chart today. So we'll be watching out for that trap, right? The trap signal to actually confirm. The reason we'll pay attention to if that 4-hour does confirm is because you do have a shortened trading week where crazy stuff can happen, and you do have a smaller range. So if something unexpected came, this would be the time to be watching for confirmations for downside or upside. All right, guys, I will be right back in just a minute. I'm going to use a little bit of the restroom before we get started. So I hope you guys get locked in, maybe get some of these numbers on your charts, get your coffee ready, and let's just get prepared to trade today. All right, guys, I'll be back in 2 minutes. Oh, look at that. 2 minutes right on the dot. God, I'm getting good at this. I'm getting pretty good at this whole streaming thing, you know? All right, how you guys doing? You guys saying good morning in the chat? Okay, good. Bernie, welcome. Tim, hey. YS, Rothar. Why did I think Roth IRS or Roth RIA? Martial laws, welcome. Traps, no, the market is so kind and honest. Surely not. Thank you for your quality TA. I appreciate you being here, Border Collie. Also, Border Collie is pretty sick. Cheese Shaker, good morning. Chaser, good morning. Cheese. Gosh, we're chasing cheese. Justin, thank you so much for being here today. Bexon, welcome. Kim Meta, how its first down day in 3 weeks. Oh man, doesn't this look like the roulette wheel where you show up and there's 20 blacks in a row and you're like, it's gotta be red, right? It's gotta be red. And then it just continues to go upward. No, there is actually a signal to pay attention to for Meta to get the big drop now. That's the good part, right? So the 2 hour is the signal. So what can we look for in here for Meta? If you want a good, if you want the best opportunity possible, that's what we'll talk about here. We'll talk about Meta with the best opportunity possible. Meta has that 750 level, and I believe there's something like a monthly expected move there. You now have this 2 hour signal, very, very blatant there on your MACD, blatant on your RSI. So something that I would like to see here is the 2 hour cross down. So what can I look for? I can look for reversal signals on a shorter time frame. So what does the 30-minute look like here for Meta at this point? Well, it's still holding the 5. It just saw a good upward move, and it just got rid of a lot of those divergences that were popping up. It got rid of them, right? That's why you got to be reacting at these times. That's what I was ending up doing. Got out of my meta play because, hey, that thing finally curled up, and I was like, this is the time where it could violate that divergence. It did. So what I'm looking for now is, this is pretty positive. What if we pull down, then we go up? What if we tag that move and then turn down and you see that divergence? That's what I would think. That's where I think the best opportunity would lie for Meta. That's just something that I think would be good to wait for. But if I see the 2 hour just cross, then I can react to that and say, okay, this thing's probably going down to 680 or 660. Yeah. For the time being, the SPY going in that upward direction. Looking at futures just to see if there's any kind of weakness here. We see 2 tags of that daily expected move. Yes, I put it on the futures. Actually, did I put it on the futures chart? Yeah, I did. I did yesterday for the stream. You see this little mini double top. So you see that blatant divergence there. Now it's a 30-minute in the futures a little bit, but it's just like, I don't like that the best. Overall, we're still above the 5. Overall, you can just see why that resistance came in with that double touch. So yeah, now looking over at the SPY, we just still want to take everything in and just be like, okay, today should technically be boring. This week should be rather boring. Really, this week should be kind of boring. We see like one little pullback and then we just drift higher, right? If we're going to keep squeezing. Very interesting to me that the PCC, if you put it on a daily, you actually can see this. PCC actually spiked up to 1.309. You can't see this on the shorter time frames either. Very interesting. But the CPC not necessarily showing that. So I thought that was very interesting. We didn't see a spike up from the CPC here. But I just wanted you to be aware that there was a pretty big shift to the put side all of a sudden. And I don't know if that's someone big making a big bet. I have no clue. It could be a glitch too, Carter, because it's not showing up on the shorter time frames. But I just wanted to show it just to be like, all right, we know if something flushes here, then someone knew about it. Yeah, Christina, I like regular trading hours. I'm starting to, in my free time, look at extended hours because the dark pool activity is going higher than the lit market right now, right? We're seeing 51, 52% of trades go out on the dark pools or on the off exchange. So that's encouraging me to start to pay attention to extended hours and futures a little bit more. And extended hours have been very helpful for you. Yeah, I just have to take a double peek at them, make sure it doesn't change any of my time frames that I like to use, right? Maybe I have to spread it out to an hourly. Curious, do the monthly and the weekly expected moves for the VIX? You can't make them for the VIX. It's kind of difficult to make monthly expected moves for volatility because one, VIX itself is not an ETF or anything. This is not a price. This is just a reading. So what you'd have to really rely on is making something with like UVXY or you know, SVIX or UVIX, something like that. And the difficult part with those are if they have decay. If they have decay, it really messes with weekly expected moves because then those moves, I think, would shift down based on that pricing if it doesn't see that upward move. So I think it's just difficult to do. I've been trying to look into ways to find it, though. So I'll find it for you eventually. Usually if my brain's keen on something, right, I'm like looking at volatility. I see like I saw someone make a volatility range once. I'm like, and once my brain gets locked onto it, I'm kind of like, I will figure it out in the next month. So I'll try to get that for you, Richard, and I'll put it up on the course. How about that? Once I figure it out. DIA might cross the negative on the 2 hour. I don't know why things are being a little bit glitchy, but uh-oh. This is the, I mean, Meta's about to confirm down on this 2 hour. Like, this might be, like I said, I'm still nervous about this type of move. So I think we're in a shortened trading week with lower implied volatility. I think most likely we're going to end in the upward direction, but I'm just very aware of the downside, even though all the signals are saying like up, 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 up. Well, this is still sideways as well. This isn't like game over. This is like, I don't want to be long, right? This crossing down right here would be like, I do not want to be long, right? And these aren't the right ranges, just so you're aware, right? These aren't the right ranges, so just take those off for now. But this isn't the worst thing ever. You're still holding up in that area. So overall, you've remained pretty in there. I think it's pretty good. This would just say, hey, are we getting that downward touch? Are we going to make something like this, right? The shoulder that could have been. Because if you look at this structure in here, you're going, where's the liquidity grab, right? You're going like this, and you're going, okay, where's the liquidity grab in here? Well, that might be right now, weirdly enough. Like, you know, we talk a lot about the right shoulder that could have been, and a lot of time when you get excited, even in the shorter time frames, right, really short ones, you get excited, you still see it go carve out that right shoulder, grab those buyers, and then turn back up. So that's what I'd be watching. But if that turns down here, that is bad. That means you have a chance to take out this low. If you take out this low, it's starting to look a little bit worse, I think. So if we're going to do that, then that would just mean, hey, this never reacts back up. I never take the trade, right? I never get the confirmation back up, so why take the trade? One thing we do notice is TLT really dropping off. We're seeing a spike up from the 10-year yield. We're seeing a spike up from the dollar right by our area we were paying attention to. If it wants to load, right around that 106.49. I think this came all the way down to something like 106.57. Very, very nice. But look at the buying structure here. As far as this chart goes, you're still just seeing something like this, right? We're still just seeing that lackluster type of thing. So if this 2 hour does cross down for any reason, hey, we might end up actually tagging that white line, and you might see that upward push continue for a sec for the SPY, but it might not last too long. What do I think of AMD? I'll go look at AMD. We haven't looked at that in a little bit, so I am down to look at it. This is what I'm talking about. I don't like this. I really don't. We've never seen that explosive move. The sellers have been able to keep this down to the point where they have a chance to push this in the downward direction. You're seeing a bunch of those little 30-minute divergence. Now it's very wonky, but the main reason I'm saying that is just like look at the buying. Look at the buy, it's just not strong. Look at the selling, it's not strong. You're looking for that big buy to send you up or the big sell to tear you down. And I think a way that you could look at this is potentially a 2 hour, maybe even I want to say maybe even a 4 at this point, but let's see if this thing will load. I don't know why everything's slow. I might turn this off for now. I'll turn this off for a second because it's very cold here, and for some reason, I don't know what it is about this place, but our internet sucks when it's really, really cold. It's like 8 degrees outside. Hold on. No, sorry about that. Yeah, so I'd really be watching that 30-minute in case that rolls, and then I'd be watching the 2-hour. If the 2-hour fully rolls, I think if the 30-minute can just keep doing what it's doing and just eventually see a nice buy come in, that'd be great, right? If it can get to here, however it can get to here, I'm happy with it, even if that's like this. And then I think you'll see that to really fake people out, and then you'll get something like this. But for this, I think the only thing you're worried about is like, hey, if that 30-minute keeps curling up, you're happy. But if this 2-hour crosses down, actually, if we curl down on that 30 and then it keeps going, the 2-hour crosses, this could just be another moment like that, right? Another moment like that, another moment like that. So, and then we can watch for divergences. But yeah, I think AMD is kind of in a rough spot. It has the reversal signals. It's still pointing in the upward direction, so can't be bearish about it yet, but you're aware of what can go wrong, and I think that's about it for AMD. Yeah, it's like a lot of things. A lot of things look good, but you have to be aware if they go wrong, right? Amazon looks good, but let's see if something goes wrong here, right? This looks like it wants an upward move, but we need to see if that's proven. Microsoft's another one. It's like it's building up all those divergences. It's starting to try to cross up. This looks good, which now means we should watch for the 2-hour to see that strong move higher. But then if the 2-hour curls down at any point, like in the early stages of this push, then we have to be like, okay, let's just take into consideration that things can still go a little bit lower before they go higher, right? Just in case. And if they make higher lows, that's great. We love it. But if this 2-hour crosses like this right now, you almost have a squeeze to the downside for Microsoft. So I think you're looking for this to be a 2-hour move. I don't think you're looking for this to go like that and then drop off again. Like, I actually don't want it to make structure. I really don't. Unless it's able to build up, like, that'd be probably too vertical. But if it can get there, maybe we'll see the positioning of the MACD. But I just feel like anytime you curl down on this 2-hour while you're by that center line, it's a risky thing. I think Google was another one, right? Google had the 30-minute divergence. You're getting that 2-hour move, but is it lackluster? And I would say so right now. I think it's lackluster, and we could make another move down. So what does that mean for the SPY? Well, that means for the SPY, we could just see one of those pullback moments, right? We could just see a pullback maybe to test something like 600. That would make a lot of sense. That's what I'm saying, Courtney. It's in that spot where it's like, it looks like it wants to bounce from there, but if it loses there, it's a big problem. And thanks for blessing me. Oh, I'm sorry about that, Samurai. That's so lame. Why is it hard to find? That's lame. Was SoundHound an overreaction with the NVIDIA sale? I mean, I don't want to say anything's like, if it's an overreaction, then you'll usually see those big divergences or something. This looks like this looks really bad now. I'm just saying, this is like a almost head and shoulders, right, with this. But you would say maybe even this cup with a handle that made another handle that tried to make another one and then just fell. So this is in a very serious problem right now, and I think the 30-minute has no reversal, so I think Sound has lower to go. As it stands right now, we can see reactions up, but we're below the 5, and if we keep rejecting, I'd like to make those divergences. Because it's not showing any reversal with a higher low or divergence, anything like that, I'm going to say, like, SoundHound can easily end up at lower prices. That is a complete breakdown from the support levels. We can just see that gap below. So I'd look for a retest of 1272. Somewhere around 1272. 12 to 13 is probably where I'd look. Sometimes, Samson, it depends a lot on the trade. For something like Meta, I would just always keep in mind that the 30-minute here has not even said like, oh, I'm gonna curl back up, I'm gonna do any. Keep that in mind. But it can be like, hey, I can apply that trade if I think it's gonna be bad and just manage trades, right? It's just I don't want to manage a bunch of them. So what I'd like to do here is be patient if I like, this is genuinely what I want to do with Meta. All right, I'm going to tell you exactly my mindset with Meta right now. My mindset with Meta right now is I could take this trade right now, or I could take the trade when the 2-hour crosses, but I think I only want to take the best possible trade for Meta. And I think the best possible trade is we see some kind of 30-minute pullback, and then that curls back up, and then we actually see that go higher, and then we set up that divergence point like this. I think this is what I would really like to see for the perfect setup. This would be a very risk-averse setup, right? There'd be plenty of reward with it. I'm waiting for it to go to another higher point because of the positioning of the MACD right now. So if I take this into consideration and say, I don't care if I miss the trade, this is what I'm looking for. I think this is the best mindset for me on Meta. Yeah, it's like I can take it with the 2-hour, but there's a lot of problems that you're talking about, right? Right when the 2-hour crosses, it could start to go wrong. You could have to manage risk. It's kind of, I get you. But if the 2-hour just crosses, then I'll be like, okay, maybe I could just take one position now and then say if the 30-minute curls up, I'm going to get out of that. And then if it curls down again and with that divergence, that's when I'm going to double down and take a bigger position than the first time. Exactly. Laws is right too. It could just end up, gapping out. So sometimes on these, I talk about starter positions, like some really small positions just in case something crazy happens. If I'm taking extended out expirations and my starter position is not a big one, then the price of that option could be still okay, even if I'm willing to hold it in case something bad happens. Yeah, as long as you have that further out expiration, it's usually fine. For Meta, I had that. I got rid of that in here. Right. I finally got rid of it. I tried to make it a bigger position in here again, and then I went, okay, that curled up right after testing the 5. I'm out of this. So I think for me, since one of them already went wrong slightly, I think me being very patient for the perfect setup is perfectly justified. I want a winner, and I think that's the best way to find the winner now. Yeah, I think because I've already had to manage risk of one trade, I should just be very patient and see if the best case scenario trade sets up for me, and then I'll take my attempt. Wait for everything to be almost perfect, and then call it good. And in the meantime, if something else confirms, hey, I can take that too, right? We still have volatility going off and things like that. Woo, sell it all. I don't know about that. I don't know why we're glitching so hard over here. I hope the stream's okay. Intel up 10% again. We covered the Qs. Yeah, we covered them a little bit. We can look at them again. Jeez, can I talk? There was one here, Baba. I know a lot of people will probably bring up these Chinese names, right? Baba, I'm just super worried about at all times. I don't like this kind of parabolic type move from the 30-minute. I think it ends poorly with a lot of gaps getting filled. That's what I will say about this move from Baba. And I think that could be very, 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 very soon. And now you're seeing 2-hour divergence even possibly across. I don't care what that MACD looks like, even if it's choppy. I'm just like, this is a pretty parabolic thing for even the daily. And so you're in a recipe for good things. Like these are great breaks. So I'm not going to talk negatively about it. These are great breaks. So you notice I just zoom out and I go, what are we breaking right now with this big daily move? Okay, awesome. But we're going to experience pullbacks, right? You are very likely to experience pullbacks is the way to really phrase it. And now you see something that's really extended with a bunch of gaps behind it. Well, what's going to happen is probably a few of those gaps will end up getting filled. I highly doubt we go all the way back down to $100, but I want to be open to it because that's a great area, and then we curl up into positive territory. That would be great. If you can see that full daily pullback, that would be a great opportunity. This does have earnings coming around the corner here. When is that? Thursday? Yeah, Thursday morning. So Thursday morning, this could totally change. This could gap up. This could gap down. The technicals do not necessarily matter when Thursday comes rolling around. But if I was someone who took calls before the earnings and I said I was going to hold all the way through, and then I see this, I'm taking some kind of profit before that earnings. Right? I'm not holding on. If I have 10 contracts here, I'm not holding on to 10 contracts here. I mean, if I bought 10 contracts here, I'm not holding on to 10 contracts before a 50-50 event. Like, that's just not happening. This is a great move. If I benefited from it, I'm going to take a lot of profit and maybe leave like two runners. So glad to be back on and mix it all next week. Hey, we're happy to have you back. Yeah, so I would be a little bit cautious with it, but the main thing is just making good decisions, right? A good decision from a trader, the one that we should talk about, is the fact that this saw a run and now I'm going into a very risky event. So if I'm making money right now off of this, I might want to solidify some of that money, and that's about it. AMC, why is people saying AMC? AMC, still seeing that good upside, nothing crazy here. For the time being, we have that updated level. Notice it's directly on $4. It just seems like AMC is going to move up 50 cents every time. GME, the line in the sand is the top of this bar, really, but 28.86 to the upside. I'm going to get rid of this 28.35, even though it's a level we really enjoy. I'm going to get rid of that for now, even though I believe that's the level we're possibly even going to make structure with right now. But yes, AMC and GME holding at this moment, I would say. NVIDIA, for the most part, gapped up. That's a good thing to attempt to do. It actually is a very cheeky thing to attempt to do for NVIDIA. Remember, we were talking about, hey, a gap up would be a way that you kind of get rid of those divergence points. Well, you gapped above 141.17, and that bar hasn't closed yet. So we'll see if these RSIs and MACDs still are up there at that point. But gapping above this level, getting that overbought, yeah, you're kind of begging for sideways or a pullback at this point, the way NVIDIA is behaving. Amazon actually flipping to the negative side, Google flipping to the negative side, Microsoft almost going flat here, so we've got some issues. Tesla is starting to turn down from our 357.78. That did become resistance when we did break it. The thing to be watching here is if the 2-hour does cross, we are most likely going to a lower low for Tesla at this point. Yeah, let's just go to the SPY for a bit, guys. Let's just go to the SPY. Might just be as slow as hell. Meta, finally! Did it do it? Yeah, well, maybe I'll look on my other screen so it's not loading in front of you. Oh yeah, Bitcoin was something I wanted to talk about. I thought Bitcoin would still be a great hint if Bitcoin curled up on the daily. But Bitcoin not turning up on the daily is a big hint, right? If it's never able to do it, we start to lose 91.8K, I'm going, ooh, Bitcoin does not look good now. BB pushing $6? Really? Really? Well, I kind of want to leave the SPY just so I don't have to load it, because this is being funky today. Dang, and it has the reversal signals. That's kind of crazy. Has some big reversals here. You can see it all across this 30-minute. But this is like this actually looks good. I actually like this. This is actually very good timing. So it's very good to see this big positive move, and you really want this to continue right now. Because the positioning of your MACD right now, you're already at the high, you're already at that RSI going towards that high right now. And this MACD is just about to curl up once. So if this extends for, say, like 4 bars, and you keep seeing that positivity, and you start to violate this even on the MACD, man, this can actually be good. So good for BB, that's nice. Yeah, I kind of like that, actually. If it sees the continued positivity, this is a great thing for BB. If it doesn't, ooh, it might be a big problem. That's kind of how it goes, you know? That's kind of how it goes. It's like, hey, if it can do this, it's great. If it doesn't do that, holy shit, it's bad. No, I don't think BB. I think if you're trying to do something with BB and things like that, I think you're better off just like buy and hold GME or something. It's at a cheaper price. Like GME's at $27. Like I just think that if GME is the end game, it's just like, you know, if BB's already up high, maybe you could look at, you know, holding a little bit of FFIE or holding a little bit of Wolfie Boy, you know, because that's actually breaking out. So holding some Wolf, that would make more sense, I think, to me. But never know with these things. This one just has a bunch of divergence. I think this thing is probably worth the hold. Yeah, we might have to hold on to some of that, but Wolfie Boy looking good. Look at that cross up with the divergence. Hasn't looked back ever since. We like it. Gold's still ending up in the upward direction for now. Meta starting to fall off. Nice. 1.72% now. And then we got the SPY just kind of chilling at higher prices. I think a lot of people were talking about like April now. How do I think SPY will move today? It really depends. How the signals are telling you things should move and how it's just going sideways. It should just say like, hey, we're going to shake all this off and volatility is going to turn back down on a 30-minute and we're just going to get back to moving and grooving. It looks, you know, everything looks bullish. These are still bullish breaks. We're holding up at higher prices. There's been no flush out, nothing. We haven't broken any key levels, right? We haven't lost 600. I don't think this is bearish at all. But that's what we were discussing all weekend, though. I don't see this as bearish at all. What's the but, right? The but is, but we see how it can get ugly pretty quick, right? We see how it can get pretty bad pretty fast. So if I'm aware of those, realize, hey, this is a bullish break with some risky things on the other end of it. If those things on the other end never happen, then it's just bullish. Do I think the 30-minute pullback here would be nice? Yes. I think a little 30-minute pullback would be very, very good. People are getting very bullish on this. Seeing 0.64 on the PCC. Dropped completely down. Dollar's starting to spike. 10-year yield starting to spike. VIX starting to spike a little bit. There's risks. There's always risks. Please pray for me. I will, but your last name is one letter off. Okay, Casey? No. I wish you luck. 100 Apple calls for 247 for Friday. Oh my goodness. That is a ballsy call with a 30-minute this high up. You took a call? A call? A call! I mean, it's a very, very high up MACD and RSI. That's all I'll say. I hope you end up being right. PCC, yeah, it's just dropping off a cliff. Yeah, Samson, that's kind of what I was thinking. Just looking for 246. So you're looking for something small. So you're looking for one of these little things right here. So you're just looking for something small. Okay, I get you. The concerned voice. A little bit. It's like when... Oh, man. I hate when those moments happen on stream where, like, I just blatantly disagree, but I don't want to be, like, a jerk. But now that I know, it's like, hey, we're just looking for that quick move up. Like, you're kind of just riding probably, like, a 15-minute wave. Like, I don't think that's bad. Toronto, I think that's the best way that we move forward. And I got to move my chat around real quick so I can see better. One thing I wanted to point out was Bitcoin. Let's go over here to do it just in case this thing's wonky. If I wanted to see if the market was going to be overall like, hey, maybe risk on in some way, I really wanted to see if this daily would turn up. The thing about this daily is really struggling. You're seeing a ton of wicks all around this thing, and this daily still has not confirmed up. So something I'm waiting for is, does the 4-hour just turn up here? The 4-hour turning up would be very, very nice in my opinion. I think the 4 hour is something I'm watching, but then we see that good 4 hour buying pressure and then it just drops completely off. So it's kind of a rough time. It's like, what the heck is going on here? But yeah, I thought it was worth mentioning to say, like, if the 4 hour can confirm up, then I'm pretty okay with anything 30-minute pullback for the, like, pulling back for the market. VIX is up 273. Looking for that daily cross from volatility, but really wanted to see here. Boys, don't start. Oh god, they're gonna start, guys. Yeah, let's take the wick to wick. There you go. We'll see if we're able to cross that. We're good, Freddie. I hope you're doing good. No, Casey, they can do whatever they want to do. They think that if they think something's got a little upside push there, they just want to take a little trade. Hey, I get you. That's fine. You know, do your thing. Just make sure you're in control the whole time. That's all I'm going to talk about. I'm going to be like, how in control of that trade are you right now, right? Do you have a way out? That's it. Right? Do I have a way out if things go wrong? That's a big deal to me. Same pattern again as last 2 days. Needs to get through and break that pattern. Exactly, Dubs. I think you're spot on. I think you're spot on. Exactly. We need it to break to the upside with some kind of, you need a buyer to step in or trail up to that resistance and then see a pullback. The only other thing for that is if it starts to, you know, curl down on a 2 hour, I'm not happy for AMD. And back, my 2-year-old just walked in and said hi and threw up everywhere. Oh no, Laws, I'm sorry about that. I spent the day off cleaning and stuff, so I get it. I gave my dogs like a nice dog treat and he got too excited and it lodged in his throat, and so he had to throw up everywhere to get it out of his throat. And I was like, dude, come on. Like, come on, dude. All right. Any thoughts with Rocket Lab? I've been sat on it for a few days, 28 average price, waiting for it to get to 32, then potentially selling it. Well, for Rocket Lab, let's see, you're waiting for 32. Just stuff's having a hard time loading. I might even click over on my other screen and see if that sometimes this one loads faster. I don't know why. I think you still could see that good upward push. I genuinely think that based on the daily chart, I think you could see it. I really feel like if this was going to break down, it would have done it. So the daily chart, something I'd really focus on as far as bullishness goes, and I'm just going to pull this across so you can see it because this is taking forever to load. So I'm going to click on the SPY and bring this over here. So this right here, it shows you, like, look at this. I mean, I don't know about you, but if I was thinking pullback or big drop behavior right now, this isn't what I'd probably be seeing. This is really trying to round out, I think. I think it's trying to round out, and if you see that confirm up, I think you could see a run to like 36. Or at least the connection between the two most recent like highs that are very obvious. I'd say I'd connect those and be like, all right, where could this run get to? Well, potentially in like a sporadic move, maybe like a little 4-day move, 5-day move, you could see something like that and then end up at like 36. But if you're just looking for, hey, is this going to test the high, go make a new one? If the 4 hour curls up, it's very likely you're going to test this high. So if you want to get to that 32 again, that's how you do it. I think you just curl up a daily, curl up a 4 hour. Then you see that little move. Then if it wants to go higher, okay. But if that curls back down, that's where I'd be worried again for something quick to the downside. It's just holding up really, really well. But if I'm in this in any way, I need to have a way out. And I think that way out right now is if the 2 hour would cross in this kind of area. Because if the 2 hour crosses right here, back to the downside, say this fails, you take this out, well, now you're taking all of this out technically. So you're taking all of that out, very likely to go down to here. If you take that out, oh, it could get bad fast. So I think you got that good shot though. We'll see if a 4 hour can curl up. Oh, there goes volatility. Yeah, that's the earnings game, Pax. It's unlucky. Earnings be like that. That's why I don't try to trade them too often. They're stressful because they're stressful because it's a 50-50 flip. What is this? Volatility is turning up. We got the SPY starting to come down. Let's put it on a 30-minute right here. Sorry. I am just butchering my click arounds today. I'm sorry for confusing your eyes. We will be leaving it right here for a while. Yeah, the gap's been filled. See what happens? Exactly. You're still sideways. We'll see. We know how this can get bad, and I think if we pay attention to Meta as well, I think Meta's I'm gonna go click on that so that can load. I think Meta as well would be a great indication of, like, we could still see that next 30-minute move higher, but I think it would be a good way to know, like, what's looking pretty weak. Getting close to break even on Meta put. Let's go. I hope it keeps going for you. I'm still gonna wait for the perfect setup. I want to do it, but because I had to manage the trade, I'm bitter about it, and so I want to see it make one more 30-minute move. I think the SPY has a good shot to do that as well. We can get a little 30-minute sideways or pullback. I think it looks okay. I think I'll click over here real quick. We are opponents now. Not really. I don't have a bet against you, so I'm not your opponent. I'm not fighting against you. I'm just saying to myself, be patient. Make sure you take the next one. I want to take a good one because I had a decent chunk in that meta play because I had built into it, and so managing risk there, I was just like bitter about it. I was just like, man, I don't like that. I didn't really have the best week, so I was just like, okay, let me wait for the good setup. That way, I confirm a winner. I just want that good attitude back, you know. Great earnings rose 60%. That's not the problem, but the follow-up is weird. What's the ticker, Pax? That winning mindset. Yeah, I was like, if I manage a trade, I'm bitter about it. I don't want to take a trade when I'm feeling a little bitter about something. I'm like, no. Cleaned up. Everything's clean here. Everything looks good. Let's just be very patient and chill. Jensen must be shorting AMD. That's pretty funny. Tilted, yeah, tilted. ACB. Here, I'm gonna look on my other charts because they're not loading the best. ACB, Aurora, Cannabis. Okay. It's not all that weird. You had a 2-hour try to confirm down. I don't think it's like terribly weird. You've seen a daily move for a long time here. You could go make that right show. I think you could go 532 is where I'd start to pay attention again if we can get there. It's either so for this guy, I think it's pretty simple. If the 2-hour confirms back up, I'm back to the bull side. No matter what this looks like, I don't care if that turns up. I'm with it. The other thing is on the daily, if this is going to pull back, you see how we didn't make that right shoulder in here. We probably really wanted to, and you're kind of cutting through that, so I think you're very likely to see something like this and then scoop back up, right, left, head, make that right shoulder that we forgot about, and then you just see this MACD curl down, maybe curl back up. I think that's the best way, but if it's going to go bullish a little bit sooner, then that 2 hours is just going to curl up. It's a great breakout. You're just seeing some take profits potentially. Cool. I don't know why these charts load faster. It's lame. Watch the course I bought for you. Yeah, hey, that's okay. I mean, it happens to all of us, right? We still make mistakes every day, right? I don't think it's like a mistake on your part. I don't even think you're making a mistake. I just think you're trying to read into it, and that's all. But if you kind of have someone else look at it, if it looks confusing to you, maybe we can simplify it and just be like, hey, if the 2-hour curls up, it's good, positive. And then you go, oh, okay, well, what didn't it do? Well, it didn't make that right shoulder at the resistance, so maybe it's going to go do that, right? If either one of those two things happen, I have a trade set up. Exactly, Pablo. I think it's like the market looks like a great solid setup that looks like it should break out to the upside, get these little 30-minute retests, but for some reason there's just that those underlying things of just like, it feels like something's really gonna go wrong here. I haven't looked at MU lately, no, so I'm down to look at Micron. This was the easy trade. Yeah, this was a very easy trade. And then you just take profit right away. That had to be a take profit, but we saved ourselves at the low. So I'm gonna dictate, we're actually trying to say this is actually a higher low. If you exclude this wick, that's gonna be a higher low. So you're able to curl up, that's great. Obviously for this 30-minute, we're going, okay, this is a little bit absurd. We're probably gonna experience a pullback, but it doesn't have to pull back yet, right? Things can remain pretty crazy for a while. The last time you did get a sell, this is kind of nice. The last time you got a big sell-off, you had the 2-hour divergence there. Now it happened on the gap, which is unfortunate. But this means what really? Well, I know where I want to be reacting to. Really? Oh my gosh, yeah, this is the one stuck in those zones. We should make another zone down here. So that would be great, actually. But this is one that once you get to this zone, it likes to reach up towards this one. You see all these touches up here? That's kind of why we made that. The last few have fallen short, so really, anytime this thing's been doing that, over time, it ends up in these areas. So we'll see, but I would just say the 2 hours getting pretty cooked, 30 minutes pretty cooked. Daily has plenty of room, so if the daily wants it to keep going, momentum stays behind it, looks good. If I want to hold it for a longer period of time, I think I'm looking for a break above this zone. If I know not to touch it, I think I'm looking for that break below these lows. Yeah, you're kind of just stuck here. Hey, things are clicking a little bit better now. Yeah, it's just stuck there, isn't it, Dubs? It's just kind of stuck. Those are sometimes the most frustrating ones. Unless you're just swinging it back and forth kind of thing. You're just like, hey, I'm gonna look for a signal at the low. All right, sell it at the high. Maybe a weekly expected move, who knows? That'd be very, very good, but some of those, once they do it a few times, you're like, all right, this might break in a certain direction. Now I gotta chill out on it for a sec. SoFi jump in. SoFi really jump in there, not able to even get the pullback. I wonder if we'll still make that right shoulder that could have been. Dang it, I gotta use the restroom, so I'll be right back. 2 seconds, Turkish. Sorry guys, nature calling. Anyway. What's going on with coin? Let's go look at coin. Let's not change this. I'm gonna look at it on my other chart first, guys. Just because it's loading pretty bad. Coin's still looking to try to make a 30-minute higher low. Kind of stuck in an area as well. So really would like to see a daily cross up. I think that would be great for coin. Yeah, you start to look at things and you just simplify and you go, what's the simplest way to look at this? Well, the simplest way to look at it is, well, this is building a lot and it's almost in a flag-like look. So if this could curl up here, I'd probably be pretty happy. Even in here, we might see a left, right shoulder that could have been. So if the daily curls up, I actually think this will break out and we're gonna see tests in these areas somewhere in these highs. If that daily can go bloop. So the price action can take you above the 9 and the 5. Doesn't look bad to me. Oh God, meta, whoa. MSTR. Same thing for MSTR. I don't think that looks bad. I think it's trying to solidify like, hey, am I a high or low? I think MSTR is almost identical. I don't think it's identical, but I think it's a similar type of vibe, if you will. Can the daily cross up, right? Can we get, it's already crossing up for MSTR. So MSTR is saying, I want to try to go bullish here, right? It's just you haven't seen that big buy kick in to really convince you or cross up this MACD, but you do have price action above the 9 and the 5. You do have, I know this blue line's confusing. I need to take that thing off, but we'll do that in a second. You just need this daily to curl up on this MACD, but you do have the price action agreeing with you here as well. So MSTR is trying to stay upside. It's just hasn't confirmed on here yet, so I can wait for confirmation, look for positivity. Sorry I have to drag that over, but everything loads bad. It's all prank Luke while he's gone. Apple, we looked at this a little bit. We were more so just being like, all right, 30-minute divergence on the RSI starting to pop up. This thing just pointing straight down. Yeah, I can curl up and get to that zone. That's fine with me. But I think you're going to see another moment where this type of thing happens. Maybe not as bad, though. I think it won't be as bad, right? We're just going to see something like this and then maybe curl back up. Or maybe down to, actually down to here would be great. 233.70 would be a great retest if you saw something really ugly, but this is very bullish, so I want to more so treat it like it's just going to hold up better. So you have the low, higher lows. I think you do something like that over here again, somewhere over in this area. We shall see, we shall see. Ah, shoot, I clicked over. Hopefully this loads. Getting lame. All right. Let's keep our eye on... Geez, Meta. Am I still waiting for the play? No. All right, Joseph, yeah. Just want to see this. I want to see the daily. I'm going to keep this on the daily for volatility here. Just want to see what this is closing like by the end of the day. Our day or tomorrow, are we going down? I mean, if I knew that, then I'd be placing money left and right. I think this is a bullish break and I'm waiting to see if it goes wrong. I think this is a bullish break and that's the only thing you can take into consideration. It's a bullish break right now. Pay attention to what can go wrong. Right? If it's a trap, you're going to see something go wrong. If it's not a trap, you will most likely not see something go wrong. But the SPY's just going sideways on the 30-minute. Doesn't seem like anything to worry about yet. We got to start curling over on bigger time frames. Holy crap, can I see? Sawyer. I need to get my eyes checked, Jamie. You know what I'm saying? My goodness. Jamie, you're like, what's it gonna do by Friday? If I knew that, do you think I'd even be on YouTube? I'd be a genius. That meta spooks me. Yeah, man. It kind of does. I was like, frickin' meta, man. Made me lose 20%, and then you're gonna frickin' turn down that aggressive the next week right when I sell it. Hey, that's alright. Shit happens. You can see I have a grudge against it now. I'm hoping that 30-minute curls back up and Richard is screwed for a second and feels my pain, and then I get to get in the play, and then we both get to make money together. That's what I'm hoping. That's what I wish for. I just like to make money with my friends. So I hope we all win on our trades. I hope that both teams trade good. I don't hope for a winner or loser. I hope that both teams trade good. WBA, yeah, let's look at it, Bexon. WBA. Oh yeah, someone did mention EAT. I actually should look at that. Look at that, Walgreens! Let's go, dude. Remember the 2-hour divergence we were talking about? Look at that. You like that, Bexon? Yeah, you like that? That's pretty good. That's 2-hour divergence. It was like barely, if not even there on the RSI, but that's there, man. That's shit. And then you see that daily curl up? If that daily curls up, you're loving life. The only thing you're aware of is, you know, if something like this is going on, right? Let's not get too excited. Right, let's make sure we're looking at this clearly, because something really good happened here and it didn't look that good later on. So let's be paying attention, because if this starts to fail, we need to be reacting. Right now, everything looks good, right? I'm sorry to be the guy, the what is it? It's not a double-edged sword. What the heck is it? God, what is it? It's like where you have to give the negative stuff to. I can't think of it. Why am I blanking here? But this all looks good. Oh God, that's gonna kill me all day, and I'm gonna just be mad. But if the 2-hour does curl down, that would be the signal I'd be watching. The bearer of bad news. It's not bad news. No, it's devil's advocate. God, how can I not get that? This is all good things, but to be devil's advocate, Matthew's got me. See, Matthew's got me. But to be devil's advocate about it, you would say, okay, but if for some reason that would start to flush and go negative on the 2-hour, if that started to cross down, that's when I'd know, like, hey, yeah, be careful, because this could be playing out. But that's it. This all looks great right now. None of that's happening right now, so I'd just be enjoying myself. The devil's avocado. What did someone ask? Someone asked, and I made fun of it with my wife. I was like, that's like someone on a reality show asked something stupid, and I go, that's like saying, I'm allergic to avocados. Are there avocados in guacamole? And I was just like, Jesus, some people. That's okay. We have looked at this. That 2 hours really, I don't like the fact that it threw up that much. It didn't even fill the gap. That's a lot of issues. I don't think this is awful. Let me look at a daily. Yeah, I don't think this is awful. I just think I'd like to see more structure first, because this 2-hour invites a lower high. And if you get that slight lower high, you're hoping, this would be nice if it could just kind of give you something lackluster, like a big move like this. You go retest 176, then you curl back down, maybe fill that gap, maybe even fill the next one. Who knows? You know, we'll see how long this thing drags out. But if you see that reaction up, you got to think positivity, but be aware that a lower high is most probable. So if 30-minute divergence pops up in here, you could fall down. And then this is what I'd really like to see, right? That's what I like to see. I think those are the best opportunities, a divergence, right? On the MACD and RSI down here, after a 2-hour divergence is there, daily move is pretty set. If this is going to keep going positive, though, I think you're looking for a higher price, and then you just hold up with that higher low. So really going to depend on following the positioning of the MACD to dictate how you're going to move going forward. Any thoughts on how more and more institutions are loading up on GME? I think GME and AMC and a lot of other things will blow off top. I think they will absolutely decimate things. That's what I think. When? That's the hard part, right? When is the hard part? But I would say you're in a good opportunity for that to happen. I would say soon, you know? Like people are saying, sometimes we do not say soon on this channel, just so you are aware. Like we are not people that like to shout it out all the time, but what were we saying and why were we paying attention to here? Well, because of the 2-hour divergence that was here, right? This is when we start to really pay attention. Remember when this happened? And I said in my video, I go, this happened, my AMC option play is back on. And then it dipped down and I went, shit, no. Yeah, it's just, these things do move with momentum and that's when you pay attention to them. If they don't have any momentum behind them, they're not gonna do shit. If they don't have any slowing down in the selling, they're not gonna do shit. Right, now they can do stuff and it's great. And I think that I think that them looking into the SEC soon might be a big warning sign. Big flashing red light, like, ooh, this could be a time. It could also not be at the time. So that's why we look for sell signals. Reach for the sky, Meta. Oh wait, yeah, I want to click this back over on Meta. Damn it, God, that's gonna make me mad now. Why not load up on AMC just after GME pumps? You don't know how it's exactly going to play out. I just look for signals and I hold it during those times, or I hold option plays during those times. I'm always holding on to the stock. I think I have more AMC than GME though. It's just easy. It's just like better. It feels better to buy at $5 or $4. Was it $4? I think like $4.20 or something. That's what I was buying at. Daily signal for VIX. Meta, you're just gonna make me mad. God, I get the hiccups every day. Yeah, so for volatility, daily signal. I think if the daily curls up, this could get really bad. You're getting it on the RSI already, like with the signal line. That's just, you know, we've had that up for a little bit just to help out with the visuals. But you're getting that. You can kind of see that more so on the RSI just if you're like tagging that 9-day moving average. But we'll just notice here that we're price action. The reading is above a 9-day moving average right now. You have a cluster right now of all of these. I got to get rid of this. This is going to just annoy me. Okay, I don't think I have it on this screen. That's good. So yeah, there's just a lot of problems that come with volatility popping off right now. Now, you did leave a gap behind, so there's always a chance that we go fill that gap first, so just pay attention to that. That could be a scenario that we pay attention to. And how would that look? Well, that would look like this for the SPY, right? We come down like this, then we go up like this, then we fall. That's how that would look. So we're already aware of that, but volatility coming in right there, I'm very worried about it. VIX gapped up today, but I don't see it on UVXY. What am I missing, please? Nazim, so the thing that dictates, so that's good. That's a good start. You're not going to lose a lot of value on UVXY calls most of the time if volatility at least popped up. Volatility popping up does not mean the SPY has to go down. So UVXY truly depends on, is the SPY going down, right? So you have to see negative price action in the SPY for UVXY to go up, but it's not going to drop really dramatically. Okay, UVXY should not drop dramatically at all, even though the SPY is holding up at higher prices. It shouldn't drop dramatically at all. And that's because volatility is higher, right? Volatility is elevated. So one, your call option should not be losing a ton of value. And two, UVXY needs the SPY to go down in order to actually go up though. So this is a good thing for UVXY. Wolf is approaching 7. Let's go, dude. Microsoft sucks. I told you, I was like really worried if this thing starts to go wrong. I really don't like how things look. But I understand it's a bullish break, but I'm just being very aware that something fishy is happening here, right? That's why, hey, I'm right there with you, Nazim. One of the only things I'm holding now, right, is UVXY. I think UVXY is just perfectly fine to hold at this point. And then I'm going to look at stuff on my other screen for a sec. I'm going to check on Bitcoin just to make sure nothing's happening there. Nope, still turning down. Wolfie Boy approaching. Yeah, approaching $7. Very, very nice for Wolfie Boy. SoFi seeing a little pop off. AMC now up 3.38%. Very, very nice. And then, ooh, Amazon failing the cross up. Failing pretty hard there, guys. Failing pretty damn hard. But people still buying calls. Interesting. It might be. That's why I think Meta's a good thing to watch. I think volatility and Meta are two very good things to watch, and you see if all those other ones start to fail, right? Microsoft starting to fail. Google, I think, starting to fail. Amazon obviously failed. Meta starting to break down. So that's the scenario we were paying attention to. Well, for MSTR, you're really just looking for a daily cross. Like if you want to take it real simple, if MSTR can curl up on a daily, I mean, Bitcoin and MSTR are looking very like, hey, they just need a daily cross up. And I think they're very related, right? So. Yeah, Nazim. So yeah, we're chilling. We haven't seen the downward move at all yet. I'm more taking volatility in the sense that like, if this is a crazy trap. Nice 2-hour divergence on the ES, but entering on this candle seems like a bad entry. Would you wait for the bounce? Let's see the ES real quick. I like to get a good look at it. I'd say the previous bar was definitely an okay one. And then if you're one of those short-term traders, you're just looking for this little tag, right? You're just looking for this little tag. But this tag here, now you might see that bounce, right? To do this, maybe, right? That's a maybe. You're still above the 5 though, so I'm pretty confident to say that if this really wants to break down intraday, that would be something possible. But this is going to be on a 2-hour though, so that's the hard part. I'd more so just be watching like, hey, this is still very positive trend. Is the 4-hour crossing okay? So that means we could go deeper. Is the daily crossing? That's the ultimate sign that this is not going to be a good thing, right? That's the ultimate sign like, hey, this is going to probably break down from here. But you look at the ES now and you're just going, I mean, it looks rather nice. Like it really looks like it wants to go higher. But you're aware if that thing fails. Like, I don't care, even if it looks like the most great liquidity setup in the world, and this is great, and we're going to get that higher low. I don't care if that curls down. I'm not going to be in calls, and that's just the main thing to get across. I think 2 hours is just difficult to enter now, you would say. I think you're probably oversold on the 30, and you're going to see this is the area where you try to bounce. Come on, SPY, pump it. Who said pump? Who needs a SPY pump? Who said it? Samurai needs the SPY pump. Is 712-ish? Well, let's see. Yeah, 712 doesn't look bad. Let me go see where that is, actually. See. 697, 710.50 or 713 to me, but that'd be very early stages. I just think it looks really bad for Meta. You can't tell me that looks good now. Meta's a problem, but I still want to see if we get that 30-minute extension. Do you see how we're still doing this on the SPY? I want to see if Meta does that, does this. I think that would be so cool. Let's look at that 30-minute. If that 30-minute could bounce all the way back, I'd be like, hell yeah. The only scary part is you broke the low. You broke the last, that retest that sent you higher, you broke that. So I think a lower high probably very likely. Got really close to that monthly expected move though. It'd be nice to make it outside of that again. Just sideways though. Nothing bad yet. BLT, DIA. that really? No, 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 that's wrong. That's wrong. Okay. VVIX. Let's check all these dailies real quick. And that hasn't crossed yet. VIX hasn't crossed yet. VIX 9-day up 26%. Yikes. We have seen bottoms created just a couple days after a move like that from VIX 9-day. So we'll be watching. Oof, if dailies cross here, you have triple divergence on the RSI. So you really don't want this week to be a bad week. I don't think you do. I think you need to go in the upward direction, or else we could be in some troubles. Could be. I'm gonna eat my nuts. We got Abuela coming over today. Super excited. Adobe? I'll look at Adobe. I think Baba's risky. It's bouncing off the weekly expected move. Yeah, that's true. What is Meta at? Yeah, that's pretty much where that weekly expected move is. Look at that. Close. Palantir? Yeah. Palantir is kind of like Meta. Palantir is kind of like Meta now. With that kind of look. I'd be careful with that guy. AMC now 4.79%. Very nice. What's NVIDIA doing? Rejecting? Yeah. Wonder if the 2-hour holds the divergence though. Because I don't think the 30-minute did. I don't know, like just flat. Very flat. This is so sideways. I mean, basics would just tell you like, hey, this is probably going to at least one more move higher. Kind of crazy. Now liquidity is going to suck all day, watch. Now we're not going to see shh all day. Add more 125 now. Total equity is 30K. Damn, Carter. I like the balls. I like the confidence. I think Palantir is in a rough spot now. It's like, that's why you don't want to see those, because you'll see some ugly moves, some flash moves. All right. I think we looked at Intel a little bit last week. I guess I could just type. Oh gosh, you're in a risky spot now where the 2-hour can dump. You'd be hoping to hold up in here. But you can see that 2-hour, you see the 30-minute divergence that's there. So this is very good. You know now how it goes bad, and that's if the 30-minute crosses back down pretty quick here. Yeah. That one's pretty simple. AMC 5.63. It's getting there. Good job. Keep going, AMC. Do the thing. Do the thing where you go up and go pow pow. Pow! What's the other thing I got down here? I got seeds. It's an ASMR stream now. I'm a big zombie movie fan, and I just saw 28 Days Later for the first time. I'm like a huge zombie movie fan. That was super random, but thought it was pretty good. Big news for the week. Going through some data here. You'll get some housing data tomorrow, and then we'll get FOMC minutes tomorrow. And then Japan on Thursday. Japan, Thursday night, we'll get their inflation rate year over year, expected to tick up just a little bit, and their core inflation rate. And then on Friday, existing home sales. I highly expect existing home sales will be very high. I have some reason to suspect that that number will be going up, actually, instead of down, but... They're probably going to end up they're probably going to end up being related in the end, but I don't really treat it that way. I still just say, hey, if the signals remain good, that's it. Yeah, 28 years later. That's why I was watching it, because I want to watch 28 weeks now, and then I'll do 28 years, and it's pretty damn good. But yeah, I'm a zombie fan. I like psychology of zombie movies. That's what I used to study in college. It was a really fun thing. What was it though? MSTR making a nice little jump. Just in case it doesn't want to perform for me. Yeah, MSTR, you got to be watching. I mean, that thing's confirmed on 2 indicators. Look for the 3rd. And then that means we should be watching Bitcoin as well and see if Bitcoin can curl up. Yeah, it was like the course was like a philosophy and psychology course where you had to read into what the meaning behind monsters were. So like, most people know this, like random if you guys want to talk about it for a sec, but we'll just talk about one thing. We're still focusing on charts, but why did vampires become really, really big near the 60s to the 80s? Like in that gap right there, why did vampires become a big thing? You stupid zombie psychology. You stupid. Not zombie psychology, the psychology behind zombie films. Monster films, but I focused a lot on zombies. So the meaning behind vampires, why they were a big thing, was because of STDs. So sexually transmitted diseases, that's why vampires bite your neck in a sexual way. That's why they're a very, charismatic or whatever person. Yeah. On this week's episode of Money Making Vampires, we're gonna suck these short sellers' blood. Why does that sound awful? You have some big brains to study zombie psychology. That's so funny. No, you probably don't. If you're actually studying zombies and their psychology, you're probably the one that's going to cause an outbreak. Please don't do that, guys. Please do not try to make zombies and or study a zombie. That, like, never has ended well. Yeah, it did, Outcast Trader. It changed for a second. Do zombies eat brains? Yo, You guys want to go in on this? I mean, look at this. It's a positive trend. We're kind of squeezing. Do zombies eat brains? Do they? Like, really think about that. Do they? In every zombie movie that you watch, or are they all just eating brains? Are they ever? Are they ever eating brains? There are some movies where they are definitely more inclined to eat brains. Like, what's the one with the guy in the red jacket? The nice zombie. You see what I'm saying, Jari? Now you're like thinking about everything differently, aren't you? Old school zombies versus new school zombies. Old school zombies are clean. They're clean and they're usually tall white men. Old metapod, I'll re-enter if it goes back up. I think that's probably, yeah. Meta. I think got a 30-minute reaction. Probably gonna come for this, but you never know. This is pretty bad. We are, but long pigs. Yeah, zombies are crashing right now. Actually, or are they going up? Zombie movies, dude. Just think during them. It's super interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I mainly looked into older movies, but then I think I went all the way to, and then I used, as a newer reference, I used World War Z. It was a lot of fun. You guys should just do that for fun. It's super fun. You just watch zombie movies and try to figure out psychological or philosophical connections. One of the movies I did was Shaun of the Dead. You need silver and Christ. That's right, Goblin Slayer. That's right. Anything interesting happening? Just, well, I know we're kind of riffing for a sec there, but I just want to make sure. Okay, dollar still coming off. HYG coming off. HGX coming off. But still above the 5. Volatility, want to see if that curls down on a 30-minute, and then obviously if the SPY can curl up on a 30. Okay, we're back to our base. I think that's one of the ones I watched, Jeffrey, if I'm not mistaken. It was so long ago. Yeah, zombies originally were about, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it was about white, it was always like tall white husbands trying to infect their wives almost, like make them into zombies, like they have to just cook and clean at the house or something like that. I think that was what it was back then. I'd have to look again. But that was the fear behind the movie. It was like, oh no, I'm gonna be a zombie and just stuck at my house with my zombie husband. That's Pennsylvania back in the day. Why can't zombies just be zombies? Because there's a person creating the story, that's all. Zombies can just be zombies, but it's once you put a story behind them that you can read into it, like why that person is feeling that way. Why are we inclined to make those movies? Why are a lot of movies right now about governments and things like that? Netflix, please. Let's go look at Netflix. Yeah, Netflix. Really worried about this guy pretty much always. But we were saying that the 2-hour still would be paying attention to it because this will eventually end very, very badly. And that could be very badly very soon, especially if this daily is able to cross. You do have daily divergence on the MACD and RSI and divergence in the near price action. This is not a very happy-go-lucky look. Yeah, this is not a happy-go-lucky thing right now, I would say, for Netflix. And yeah, it can hold up at higher prices for a little bit longer, but I just think that now it's completely going to, I think it's going to vomit and potentially even go fill this gap. I think it might even go all the way down to 840. So I don't like the look of it. I do notice that the MACD is higher up, so if that holds up better, I should expect that to be positive if that curls up again. But if it curls up again, I'm going, yeah, that Netflix might be a hint of where that market top is. Yeah, let's look at Pfizer. You know, people that might create zombies one day. Let's look at Pfizer. Pfizer, if that curls up on the daily, I think you're happy with it. That's pretty much all you can say at this point. Right now you're in that negative trend, so it's kind of hard to tell. The 2 hour, though, starting to form those divergences, so this is an opportunity if this can give you, I would say from this point, if I'm looking at it right now, I'm looking for that positive green bar. I'm looking for a very strong bar that potentially takes me above a close above 25.74. I think that would be great to see that green bar, and then you'd probably extend to something like $26. That'd be the first point I'm paying attention to for those little pullbacks. If we can just see a big reaction, then I'm hoping we can get all the way up to about $27 for Pfizer. But we'll see. Remember, things can go wrong, right? As long as we're talking about the things that look like they're forming, but just keep in mind, like, if I don't go over the things that can go wrong, which I don't think I fully did for Pfizer, just make sure you're pointing that out. How far do you think AMC will go this week? I think it'll touch $4, and then we'll see what happens. Yeah, if all this remains good, this is an area where it could pull back right now. But with that positivity, the daily starting to see some good upside, I'm going, okay, can this get to here? And when it does, do we actually get there and consolidate in some way to then go higher? I think there's going to be a little bit of consolidation in here at this point. So if I'm bullish on AMC, I'm probably taking longer out expirations. But this is good. This is buyers stepping in. How's the volume? What's the volume of this? Are you not going to be able to load the volume for me? Okay. Yeah, volume's coming down though, so that's kind of a problem. Not necessarily the best thing to see. Yeah, I'm about to freaking go to sleep. This is like watching paint dry sometimes. Yeah, so it's 9:50. I think it's a good time to possibly help out. Did you get around to Wolf? Yeah, Wolf's with the breakout, but yeah, Wolf has the breakout, so that's pretty good. But I will be taking off right now. I think Abu's about to show up. Abuela's about to show up. So I just want to say I appreciate you guys being here today. We have some very interesting stuff going on. We're waiting to see if something's going to go wrong. I don't think anything's going wrong at this moment. Nothing really saying we're going wrong, but you do have some warning signs, which is Meta breaking down, Amazon failing, Nvidia starting to turn down. What was it? Microsoft starting to fail a little bit. Google's starting to fail a little bit. If these things can turn back around, hey, everything's peachy. One thing I would watch out for today is if you see this move intraday, you know, watch for this to potentially even curl back down by the end of the day, or you see some sell come in. I'd just be a little bit worried going into tomorrow with FOMC. Or wait, is tomorrow FOMC? Let me just double check. Yeah, I'd just be a little bit worried that going into tomorrow with FOMC, and that's all I would really say at this point. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great day trading out there. Keep on trading like water, and make sure to always be managing your risk, paying attention to what can go wrong, moving that money around just how you should. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Have a good day. Peace out. I'm blackballed on stream. I'll check it out tomorrow, first thing. All right? Monumental, come back tomorrow, all right? You're not blackballed by any means.